You are getting sleepy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Husky Running YouTube channel, and welcome to the last episode of the Pittsburgh Marathon training series. Guys, it's been a long time coming, and I'm excited to show you guys this video. If you've been following this channel for any amount of time, you know that we started marathon training on January 1st, and we were preparing for the Pittsburgh Marathon that happened on May 5th. And this all started because sometime last year in the fall, I got this crazy idea that, well, maybe I could run a marathon, and that's what we set out to do. And guys, I'm proud to say that that's what we did. You guys saw in the last video packet pickup and the actual 5K that we ran on Saturday, and I can't wait to show you guys the marathon footage. I will say I did have some issues with my Insta360 camera. There's a pretty bad stitch line through most of the footage, and of course, you know, it worked perfectly fine in the snow, in the rain, for months of training. And then, of course, the marathon day, there's gotta be an issue. But anyways, guys, here's the Pittsburgh Marathon. Guys, we got it done. We got that medal and we crossed that finish line. So the marathon started way better than I thought it would. And the whole goal for the marathon that I had in my mind was to finish the marathon by doing a walk-run routine of running for 4 minutes and then walking for a minute and just repeating that until we finished the marathon. But being new to running and these races, I got kind of caught up in the crowd and I got caught up with all of the other runners, and I knew going into this that might happen, and I was trying to tell myself, Steven, just run your race. But once we actually started, I kind of forgot everything and I kind of just went with it, and it was great. I'm not gonna lie, the first few miles felt amazing. And when I say the first few miles, guys, the first 10 miles felt great. I set, if you follow on Strava, you know I set a 10-mile personal best, and things were just floating along. Things were good. I was in the zone. I was focused, even though I forgot my headphones at home, and that would turn out to be probably a pretty big factor at the end of the race. But even forgetting my headphones, I just felt good. I was with everybody. We were all just going along. Life was good until we got to about mile 10 and a half, 11, somewhere in there. The people running the half marathon split, and those running the full marathon went forward, and I saw about 90% of the people veer off for the half marathon course to finish the half. And then I was alone. I looked around and there was maybe a couple people in front of me, a couple people behind me, maybe 1 or 2 people somewhere next to me. But for the most part, that crowd, that feeling, that rush just kind of went with the half marathon people. I could hear the crowds off in the distance cheering on the half marathon runners. And I looked ahead and it was kind of empty streets. A pocket of people here cheering, maybe a pocket here. But for the most part, all of the excitement left with the half marathon runners, and that's kind of when it hit me that, well, maybe you're doing this a little too quick. Maybe you need to slow down a little bit. And so that's what we did. Mile 11 starts a pretty big climb anyways, and so I took it easy on the climb, and I could tell my legs were starting to get a little tired. All of that excitement and adrenaline was starting to wear off. And I started honestly missing having my headphones. I had saved up all of these Choose Strong episodes for the Choose Strong podcast that Sally McRae does. And I don't know what it is about Sally and her stories, but when I listen to her talk about how she runs her 240-mile races, I'm like, okay, I can do this 26.2-mile race. And that really got me through a lot of kind of long and hard days in training, especially when the weather was really bad. If you guys remember, it's been snowing and raining in the early parts of training, and that podcast just kind of got me in a good mindset to like finish it. And I didn't have that. And when I noticed that I was kind of alone, and when I would come up to somebody or somebody would pass me, everybody's got headphones in and everybody's focused, and there I was, alone. But for the most part, I kept on going. Once we hit the big climb, I started to run again, and then I started to implement run walk, even though I didn't really have a timer set on my watch. I just told myself it was okay to walk when I needed to walk. And then mile 20 hit, and that's when things started to get kind of stiff. My legs were getting stiff. It was getting hard to run again when I had been walking. And honestly, I was kind of getting a little down on myself that I had pushed it so quickly, because had I implemented my run walk from the beginning, I knew in my mind that at this point of the race, I would have been in much better shape than where I was. But I knew at this point, 20 miles in, 6 miles left, I am not quitting. I'm not bowing out. I knew I was gonna push through. And guys, this is where you played a big part, because I was able to go back through all the videos that we've made and all the comments that you guys have left and all the encouraging words that you guys have given me. And I was able to remember those and recall those and like, okay, this is why we're doing it. We can do this. We got this. Some of you guys were hitting me up on Instagram, just leaving some encouraging words. My wife was following along on the race app and she was texting me, and you guys really just kind of picked me up and pushed me those last 6 miles, because they were probably the toughest 6 miles that I have ran in my entire life. My legs just didn't want to work. Things were hurting, things were stiff, but we got it done. And the crazy part is though, once I got on that last home stretch where I could see the finish line, I knew I was not gonna walk across that line. And so we started to run, and all of a sudden, my legs didn't feel stiff anymore. Things weren't hurting. And for that last couple hundred yards, like I was actually running, like things felt really good. I could tell I was picking up the pace, and we crossed that finish line, guys, with our heads held high, a marathoner. It doesn't really come across on the camera very well on the 360, but when I crossed that finish line, I kind of broke down a little bit. I got pretty emotional. Just the greatest feeling of accomplishment that I've ever felt. My wife immediately wanted to FaceTime me, and so I got on the phone with her, and like I just couldn't keep it together. It was, you know, just tears everywhere. I couldn't believe that I had, you know, finished what we had set out to do, that I actually did it. And I was just so proud of myself in that moment, because yeah, if you know me, you know I like to start things, but I don't always see them through. And when training got a little tough and we started missing runs, I was like, oh, here we go. You know, this is that thing where I start really strong, and then I'm just kind of then at the end like, well, whatever. Like, it was a good idea, but we actually did this. We saw it through. We got it done, and we crossed that finish line. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Guys, again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for this whole marathon training series. If you're not subscribed, it would mean the world if you would hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment below letting me know what was your time for your first marathon. And well, if you've never ran a marathon, do you plan on running a marathon? Hit that thumbs up button. And guys, as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.